Hi, everyone, and welcome back to session 2 of our virtual parenting circle. So this week, we're going to be talking about relationships and bonding and attachment between a caregiver and a child. And last week, we did a little bit of an intro. So this program is going to be 6 weeks in length with 6 sessions, and every week we'll load a new video on Thursdays. They will drop on our Instagram page and our Facebook. We were trying to do it through YouTube. It may or may not happen. We're still trying to work that out. But in the meantime, you can catch us on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll share those links as well. If you have any comments or have anything you'd like to share with us, you can also send us a DM afterwards into our inboxes on both of those platforms, or we'll also share our email addresses, and you can contact us through email, and we will try to reply to the best of our abilities in a timely manner. So my name is Mercedes, and I work at Native Child and Family Services of Toronto on our early years team. I've been with the agency for about 2 years in various positions, and I am here with a couple of my coworkers who are also going to be sharing with you this content today and for the next few weeks. So also my friend Nat and Anna are going to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. I am also on the early years team. I have been at Native Child for about 5 years, and I am a family home visitor or a Nanoshe.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Hudson, and I have been with the agency for 5 months, and I'm very excited to talk about attachment today with you all.
All right, and Nat's going to take us away and begin this topic for us.
Okay, everyone. So I do want to talk a little bit about the difference between bonding and attachment, specifically secure attachment. So when we think of bonding, when we talk about bonding, this often describes the feelings of love between a parent or caregiver and a child. So positive experiences together really strengthen that bond, and a healthy and loving and trusting relationship then emerges. When we talk about attachment, specifically secure attachment, this develops over time as well as bonding. It develops over time between a parent and caregiver, or parent or caregiver and a child, when the parent or caregiver is responsive to that child's needs. So responsiveness and attentiveness are really key when we talk about secure attachment. For example, when an infant is crying and a parent or caregiver picks up that child and comforts that child, or tries to figure out why that child is crying, which we know there could be a variety of reasons why children cry. So when the parent responds to that infant's cry, for example, that helps to build a secure attachment between that parent and that child. So in that example that I gave, a child, the infant then feels secure, they feel loved, and they build trust for that parent or that caregiver. When these types of things are practiced during infancy, toddlerhood, and into early childhood, children develop confidence, they develop trust, and they seem to be better equipped to face challenges in the outside world. So when parents are being attentive and being responsive, this is equipping their child to feel confident and secure when they experience things with their friends, with other people outside in the outside world. I'd also like to add that attachment can happen between a child and another person, not only a child and a parent or their caregiver. A child can actually develop a healthy and secure attachment with grandparents, with aunties and uncles, etc. And if for some reason there has been a disruption in the early years with parents and caregivers, it does not mean I just want to point out, it does not mean that it's too late to form a bond or to form a healthy relationship or a secure attachment with your child. It does take time, it does take practice, and it does take patience. And there is still hope to foster and secure these healthy attachments between children and their parents and caregivers. So what are some of the ways that we can build healthy relationships with our children? So I talked about responding to their physical needs, such as picking up a baby, comforting them when they're crying, for example. It's also important that we're aware and respond to their emotional needs, their mental needs, their spiritual needs. So something like a cuddle or an embrace, reading a book to a child before bedtime, going fishing with a child, teaching them something new about their culture. All these things contribute to building healthy relationships with children and secure attachments where children can feel safe, they can feel loved, and overall, this is good for both parent and child.
Great points, Natalie. Anna, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Sure. So as Natalie was saying, so the healthy attachment is really the response of listening to the needs of the child, what the child is presenting. This is how attachment is really, really formed. So by the act of serve and returned, as we talked about last week. So what does that mean? As a reminder, so the child is giving a cue to the parent or the provider, care provider, and the provider then in turn responds to the child and what the need is. By this interaction, this is how this attachment is built. It is a very healthy process, as Natalie was saying. So picking up your baby when your baby is needing comfort, feeding your baby, mentally stimulating your baby. Also, this is extremely crucial that this attachment does develop, because this is not an investment for the well-being solely for the here and now. We are looking of having this attachment and the importance of this attachment in future, because this child is currently learning to either trust or mistrust at this stage in life. And we want to be able to provide the most loving and supportive environment in order for this child in the future, once they grow up, they're able to self-regulate and feel good and secure in the world.
Those are some fantastic points. And I was hoping one of you could bust this myth for us. So often we'll hear with caregivers or from people who've reared children in their lifetimes that you can spoil a child by picking them up too much and you should just let them cry. Is that true? Or how would you respond to those kind of situations?
So,
okay.
Anna, if you wanted to expand?
No, sure, you go ahead.
I was just going to say that no, it is not spoiling a child when we're picking up a child when they're crying. Infants are not crying to, bother us or to be a nuisance, or, they are crying to fulfill a certain need. And this is their way of communicating with us as parents or caregivers, as they're not able to verbalize what they're needing. So if they are wet and they need to be changed, if they are hungry, if they might just want that human contact, all of those things they're trying to communicate with us, And through cry is the first way that an infant or baby is able to communicate with that. So even though sometimes, you know, we might not know what that child needs, it's like it might be hard to decipher, just remaining patient. Sometimes it takes trial and error, but eventually we find out what that child needs and we can move forward and fulfill those needs. The point is, we are reaching out to that child, we are responding to that child and showing our children that we are there for them when they're trying to communicate that there's a need that's unfulfilled there. So it's not spoiling, it's simply helping our children fulfill their needs and navigating the world for them, helping them navigate that.
Very nice. That's a good point. Anna, did you want to add on?
Sure. What I would like to say about that is that no, you cannot spoil a child. The child is there for conveying a message and a need. And it is very important for the parent to be there and be emotionally attentive and present in order to create this attachment that we're talking about. We want this child to be have their needs met. So as Natalie was saying, either hungry, response to being changed. This is the communication piece, and the parent is the source to provide all of these needs. So the child's doing what it needs to do is to convey the message, and the caregiver is there in turn responding to that need.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So we're going to move on to the next part where we're going to be talking about the circle of security. This could be something that you've already heard of, or it could be a new term. I'm going to share my screen with you, and then that way we can discuss it a little bit better. All right. So here is my screen, and on it, I am sharing this thing called the circle of security. So let me see if I can just move it up a little bit better, and if I can do full screen. There we go. So here's a circle of security. And if you look at it here, we start off with a pair of hands where it's called the secure base and the safe haven. And what that is the caregiver or the person who the child trusts, who they've built a secure attachment with or a strong bond. And the child goes off and they start to explore their environment. So it could start off with small things. It could be if you're going to the playground, the child wants to go to the sandbox. What the child will do is maybe they'll watch, they'll look at it, they'll observe, but then they also look and observe you to kind of see what your response is to that situation. So with your how you express your approval or the safety or the trust of that situation, the child picks up on that. So it could be facial cues, it could be vocalized expression, or however you communicate with them to let them know, oh, go play, have some fun. Maybe it is going to the sandbox with them. And as you go and do that together, the child understands that situation is safe and it's okay to do. And they'll go and they'll be willing to play whether you're with them or not, as long as you're within visual sight of them. And what the child might do in that situation after they start playing is they will start to look back to check on you and see what you're doing. Because every time they do something, they want to make sure, is this okay? Am I safe? Is this allowed? And how you respond to the child, like, oh, continue to have fun, great. Or if you respond in a negative way, like, oh, don't do that. Like the child will pick up on that very quickly. So the child continues to go and they explore and they want you to enjoy with them. They want you to watch them, observe them. They might ask for your help in the situation. And then if something comes up, like maybe an unfamiliar animal pops up in the sandbox, or another child who they don't know, or a stranger, or they get hurt, they are going to run back to their safe base or their safe haven because you are the trusted caregiver in that situation for them. So this is what the circle of security is. It is for a child to go out in their environment and explore, to recognize and try to see where their safe base is, look back to make sure what they're doing is okay, and go on and do more exploring. So there's times where you'll see that they come back and forth quite often. So they're going to go out and explore, they'll come back, they're going to go out and explore some more, they're going to come back. And they come back to you because you're going to be comforting them, you're going to be protecting them, and you're going to help them understand their feelings or emotions when something scary pops up or if they become overstimulated through sensory or excitement. So that is our safe base and our secure, the circle of security. So I'm going to come off of the share now, and we're going to go back to our discussion. All right. So the other part, other than that, before we move on to the next thing, I just want to say, so we have 9 minutes left in this, and then we're going to be cut off. So if it seems like we're speeding up our content a little bit, it's not intentional. We're working with Zoom, and we're doing the best we can with the platform we're able to use. But Nat and Anna, did you have any comments on that before I move on to the next screen share?
Oh, I would just like to say that in regards to what you have just shared about the circle of security, is that actually wonderful to actually see in actual reality, because the child really does go and come back, and there's a balance between the child trying to be independent but yet wanting that comfort. And this is where that attachment comes in, where you're relishing cheering that child on when they look and they're asking for a response from you, and you can say, yes, I'm super excited that you're doing so well, look at you. So this is where you compliment. This is where you relish in their abilities, and you welcome them back when they are ready to come back for either emotional or safety needs. And it's an actual joy to see. So I encourage parents and caregivers to actually, when we're able to finally go back to a park, see that, or at a early on, and just see them go and explore, play with toys, and you'll see them come back or look back at you in order to get that feedback from you, that verbal cues and response from you, or eye contact that says, it's okay, I'm here to support you. So going back to that attachment piece. So I thought that was a wonderful, wonderful explanation. So thank you, Mercedes, for showing that.
Oh, thank you, Anna. I like your points that you had made. So I also want to just say, so we have a special guest that's joining us, and she's just going to say hi quickly. And
hi.
That is our friend Cassandra Churm. Hi, Cassandra.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So we're just currently talking about attachment and bonding between caregivers and children.
All right. Very important. Very important.
Yes.
I just popped in to say hi because I'm a public health nurse, so I'm actually working on COVID now, but I just wanted to say hi to everyone. And I know it's a hard time for parents right now because you're doing everything. You're the teacher, you're the, daycare worker, you're the doctor, you're the nurse. So I know it's hard for people, and it's a time when our parenting skills are being sort of stretched to the full capacity. But I just want to say hi and thank everybody for, staying home and doing everything they need to do to keep us healthy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping in. That means so much. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be very happy to see your face, especially since we're not at 30 College anymore.
I know.
We all miss you.
I have never missed 30 College more, just to be quite honest.
Miss you, Fred.
I'm looking forward to when we get back and we can do cooking programs and parenting programs like face to face. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys, I know we're not doing interactive, but if you guys had any questions about like COVID or anything like that I could answer while I'm here.
Not at the moment, but if you're free to ever do a segment, like we can pose that question onto Instagram or Facebook and ask people if they have questions, and a pre-recorded video for them.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay, so look forward to that. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll have a new video that we'll be loading with Cassandra to ask any COVID questions that you may have. So definitely make sure you DM us.
And I also have like just some basic COVID resources for like parenting with COVID, breastfeeding with COVID. So maybe I can just talk about those.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off because I have to get back to work.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Coughing. But it was nice to see everybody, and hang in there, everybody.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you, Cassandra. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so that was a nice little treat. So we have another resource that we're going to be sharing with you guys, and that is about different types of attachment.
I can't leave.
It's okay. I'm going to boot you out right now, so one second. Bye. Okay, so enjoy that little blooper. We have about 4 minutes left in this video, so I'm going to just go over some different types of attachment quickly. We'll finish off our discussion, and then we will see you again next week. So give me one moment. We're going to do another share screen here. All right. So hold on. I just try to move this out of the way. So there are 3 different types of attachment. There is a secure attachment, which we just talked about. There's resistant and avoidant. So in a situation where they've done a study, a caregiver will be with a child in a room. And then at some point in that study, the caregiver will be asked to step out of the room and leave the child in that space. So the child will be playing with toys or monitored. The people can still see into the room to make sure the child is safe. So there are different reactions a child might have in that situation. So for a secure attachment, the child will notice their caregiver has left. They will be alarmed. They may start crying or looking around or asking for that caregiver. And then upon the return of the caregiver, the child, although they might seem like they're a little bit in distress, they will be able to be comforted by their caregiver, and they will be able to self-regulate through that and then go back to play. So another attachment would be the resistant. And in that same situation, a child will become extremely distressed. They may be crying. They may seem uncontrollably upset. And then upon the return of the caregiver, the child cannot be consoled. So they will continue to cry, and they are unable to self-regulate. So that is another type of attachment. And then the third one is avoidant. So in an avoidant attachment, a caregiver might leave the space. The child seems indifferent. They don't really care too much. The parent or caregiver returns, and same reaction. So the caregiver, again, has returned, and the child just seems to be like, okay, you're back, no big deal kind of thing. So those are those are the few examples of the different types of attachment they are. So with children, you'll notice that those type of reactions will vary caregiver to caregiver. So they may have a very secure attachment with maybe mom or grandma, or they may have a very avoidant attachment with maybe mom, dad, grandma, whoever it may be, aunt, uncle. And that sometimes it does play into the temperament of the child. So it is partly biological. It's something that they're just born with. And sometimes it is just based off the lifelong trajectory of the child. It's how they had learned in their early years, like as an infant or a toddler, by the responsive cues. So you could build a secure attachment with your child. It just takes some time and some consistency in responding to the cues. So like what Anna and Nat were saying, it's very important to be responding and recognizing those cues and participating in that serve and return. So I'm going to come off of screen share, and we're going to finish this discussion. All right, we have less than a minute, so I guess we can't really finish the discussion. So does any quick points you want to make before we get cut off?
I just want to say that attachment is a daily, you work on this daily. Nothing necessarily is perfect, and no relationship is perfect, but as long as you put your love and attention and keep on listening to those cues, good for you.
Perfect. Nat, any last minute cues before we get cut off?
Just wanted to say thank you for listening, everyone, and don't be too hard on yourselves. You're doing a great job.
So thank you so much, everyone. Sorry this got cut short. We're doing the best we can, but tune in next week and follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. So goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye, friends.